Bill's high ticket dropshipping business is doing 5 million US dollars per year, and it's doing it consistently. And I think it's only going to get bigger. So Bill is here to tell us all about how he does this. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jayden. I appreciate it. I'm happy to talk with you.
Awesome. So if I can take you back to the beginning, which we've already established because you said the words to me before we started recording, we did 4.6 million, which was okay, which you've clearly come a long way. But let's go back to when you were a person just dreaming of this 7-figure store. Where were you? What were you doing for work? And what made you want to do something different?
Yeah. So I have been thinking about my own business for so long, and it's almost like I can't remember. I think I first picked up, I know a book that you appreciate quite a bit, The 4-Hour Workweek, way back in, say I think about 2014 was the first time I read that book. And like so many people, it just opened my eyes to a new world that I had no idea really existed. And didn't know that you could make money outside of a job. It seems sort of unusual. So that sort of kicked off a very long multi-year journey to discover something that I was interested in and passionate enough about to be able to make money from and support my life. It took a lot of wild, crazy, not so successful, very unsuccessful experiments, to say the least, to get where I am today. But ultimately, I came to a point where I learned about dropshipping as one of the possibilities that I could explore. I won't get into the details too much because it's probably not very interesting, but I did open a dropship store based on shipping from China, kind of the Alibaba type thing back in 2018, which really didn't do much. It was it was how did I call it? It was a silver heart jewelry for young women, which I know nothing about jewelry or silver hearts or nothing, and I don't even no idea where I came up with this idea. I don't remember, but that was my first foray into ecom. And yeah,
Did you sell some?
I sold a few. Yeah. I actually, it's sort of the classic moment where you always remember your first sale. I remember my first sale from that, and I know where I was. It was October 2018. I was in a coffee shop and I was on my laptop, and the cha-ching came up from Shopify. I'm like, oh wow, this works. And I think I proceeded to make maybe 5 or 6 more sales after that before I shut the store down.
Why did you shut the store down? Like, when did you have this realization of, oh, actually, this isn't the thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, you asked me what I was doing for work. I hadn't got into that. So at the time I was in marketing for a home builder, which later sort of progressed into IT for a home builder. So nothing that I was super passionate about. And certainly something I wanted to move away from. So this being my first like real foray into ecom, I was hoping it would be something that could get me out of that. But in the progress of running that store, I'm like, this is not it. Like, I mean, just first of all, sending stuff from China, it's going to take 3, 4, 5 weeks to get there. That felt really inauthentic to me. I wanted to be able to provide better service than that. And who knows what these people were receiving, right? I mean, were they actually receiving the thing they ordered?
Yeah.
To this day,
and
I
if
still
they
don't
aren't,
know.
there's nothing you can do about it.
Precisely. Yeah, you have no control over it. So it really it didn't feel authentic to me. It didn't feel like something that I really wanted to do. I needed to find something that was more in alignment with my values and what worked for me. So I kept exploring. COVID hit, which allowed me to work from home and gave me maybe a little bit more of an opportunity to try some other things. I found a better course that offered me a lot more information on how to create a business like that. And I tried something during COVID, didn't quite work. And well, it didn't quite work because, well, we can get into it if you want, but my own insecurities about whether or not I could actually make it work. So I kind of dropped that idea, started a different one. That's kind of fast forwarding now to about 2022. And I launched the business that I'm running now, which is doing very well. We sell power products. That's where I ended up landing. So a variety of power products like portable generators, solar equipment, batteries, that sort of stuff. So that has gone very well and has been doing quite well since we launched in 2022.
Awesome. Okay, we'll get into that store and how you've made such a success of it. But I actually am interested in the one before that because, like, you've basically taken a business from 0 to 5 million or so in 3.5 years. Like, you're clearly a very, very strong operator, right? So it's so interesting that actually the only thing that held you back the first time was in your own head. Like, because it's blatantly
Mm.
clear that you have the skill set, right? Which is something I think most people don't believe me when I say. I do say that, we've had a few people like Kellen, Gian, like myself, we've all built these businesses, right? And I think sometimes people listen to us talk on these sorts of podcasts and think that there must be something special about us. And actually, it's just that at some point we all decided we were just going to do the work consistently for a long enough period of time to reach success. And I think that's all it really is. And it's like, so do you think if I gave you that store back now, you could, with your own self belief and knowledge, you can do it? Do you think you could make a success of it now?
Yes, absolutely. It's funny you asked me that question, Jane, because I was literally on a walk this morning thinking about that exact thing. Like, boy, if I started that store again, I think I could do a great job with it. So to your point, a lot of this stuff is just in our heads. It's our own fears, our own insecurities, our own anxieties. I've experienced all of that so many times. I know you've been very kind in your vulnerability about that sort of thing. You've been
Mm,
open about it, and I've always appreciated that about you. I think it is important to talk about because, if you work sort of a standard 9 to 5 job and you've always done that, not to say that you don't have challenges. Of course you do. People, have a lot of challenges in their jobs, but of there's a different level I think you tap into when you're an entrepreneur. You start to go in different parts of your psyche that maybe you're not accustomed to getting into, or that it's easy to paper over in the normal day-to-day life. You can just come home and turn on Netflix and tune out. And you can't always do that when you're running your own business. You have to face these things more. Let those dragons are going to be there, and you're going to have to face them sometimes. So I do think for anyone who hasn't built a real successful business yet, or is dreaming of doing it and doesn't really know if they can do it, I assure you, if you had told me, the version of me from 3, 4, 5 years ago, that I'd be at where I'm at now, I'd say, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no
yeah.
idea, because I was unsure, completely unsure if I could ever do it. I mentioned I first read that book in 2014. That's now 12 years ago. So it took me a long time. And a big reason, the number one reason is because of my own uncertainty about my ability to make it happen. And if there's anything that you could do to try to break through that, is like, you have to be able to face your fears. You got to figure out how to say, I'm going to feel the fear, and I'm going to move forward and take action anyway.
100%. I couldn't agree more. It's something that people ask me a lot. They say to me, I want this so badly. What are the things that could mean that I fail or mean that it doesn't happen for me? And it's so hard. I think it's one of those unfortunate things that you don't realize until you're out the other side, which is almost too late. But I say to people, like, honestly, the reason I am so passionate about high ticket dropshipping is because, like, I have a huge feeling of gratitude towards it. Like, it has helped me take my life to a place that I'm so much happier in. And I think it's an amazing starter business model because of the fact that, like, if I had started, I don't know, let's say a physical products brand, and I take that risk and I buy in, and I thought about that. I had an MOQ quote from like a factory to sell, and it would have to sell physical products, and it would cost me probably $10,000 just to get this stuff into the UK where I was selling and start going. And if I had run out of money or not had enough money to, basically work out the kinks, work out my marketing strategies to make new stock orders, like, that could have put me out of business. And there are so many things if you go and get a physical presence and you have rent to pay and whatever, or a team. But with high ticket dropshipping, you're almost always, with the exception of maybe if you need to buy a course or, like, a little bit of money for ads initially or whatever, but you're almost always going to be able to keep going. You're not going to have anything that you literally can't get past as long as you don't quit and you're happy to keep putting the work in. So it kind of is that place that unless you quit, there is nothing that's going to stop you. It's just, when do you get there? Some people, it'll be, really fast like you, and you'll have huge growth. Sometimes it'll take a little bit more time, but you will get there if you keep going. But it's almost impossible to say that to someone until that penny dropping moment happens, which is almost a shame.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brick by brick. You just lay a brick today, you lay another brick tomorrow. You just kind of keep going. Anything that you really want to do. I mean, if you truly want to do it, you have to keep going. It doesn't matter what you do in this world. There's going to be setbacks. Period.
For sure.
Everything, any endeavor. So it's just a matter of how you encounter them. You could feel the fear, and you could just kind of run away from that and hide, and maybe you just quit altogether. People do that all the time. Maybe that's the right thing to do if it's not for you. But if you truly want to do something, you have to feel that and say, okay, I'm going to lay another brick today. And that's all I'm going to do. And then tomorrow I'm going to do another one. You'll have a wall eventually. And then you keep going and you have a house and you just keep going. The best thing to do is to just keep going, really. Because I've thought, I'll just say it, like, even through the growth that I've experienced and the great opportunities that my business have provided for me, I've thought about quitting many times. And it's usually at those crux moments, those pivotal moments where I'm experiencing a challenge, it feels uncomfortable, and there's a natural instinct to just say, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I quit, but I'm not quit. I've kept going, and now it's just really taken off. So I think if no matter where you are in this journey, if you're at the very beginning or you are starting, but you're not sure what's coming next, or if you've been doing this for years and you're experienced, that's the best thing to remember is, like, you're going to feel some insecurity and fear sometimes. And the best thing to do is take another step, just keep going, because it's going to get better.
100%. I love that. I've had to try and train, like you say, I've had my own struggles with, confidence, anxiety, mindset. And I've had to try and train myself to enjoy those dips. And I have to try and tell myself, the big moments, like whatever, you hit your first million or you have that exit, whatever it is, they're only fun because of the dips that it took to get there. If it was like a really straight, clear, linear path, there would be no real satisfaction. But it's hard for sure. Okay, so like, you're a very humble guy, so you probably feel uncomfortable me saying, but like, your growth trajectory is like up there. I've spoken to a lot of high ticket dropshipping business owners, and like, to get to 5 million actually in your pretty much second full year, really, because I know you were saying it was like, this and the last 2 years have been pretty consistent, is incredible. What would you say are some of the things that you think, looking back, have contributed to the speed of that growth?
Yeah, I just look at what others are doing in my space and I just say, what can I do better? What can I offer that's better? What can I offer that's different? What value can I provide to my customers? How can I better serve my customers than what my competitors are doing? I mean, that's really all it is. I'm not necessarily, the smartest person or the most special person or the most talented marketer. The one thing I would say beyond that is just like, again, I have kept going. So I'm willing to work really hard and put in the effort. So that applies to anything you do in life. So if you want to be successful at something, you're going to have to put in the effort. So I've been willing to work hard, but then also look at what is going on in my space and how I can stand out. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're buying a t-shirt or a generator or anything else in this world. You're looking at all the different options from which to choose as a customer, and which one's providing the best value. I mean, could be price. Yeah, sure. Everybody thinks about that, but there are other intangibles too that you can offer that others might not offer. So I am constantly looking at that. It's a regular focus for me. I have a regular calendar item. There's sort of a meeting on my calendar where I like look at competition, do a regular examination of what they are up to, and seeing if they're doing anything better than I am, and seeing if I could improve on that.
That's awesome. I love that. I don't want to, ask you for insider secrets, but is there something that springs to mind as an example of one of those things?
Sure. This goes to dealing with those feelings of discomfort. So I picked a couple things that are still to this day are uncomfortable to me, because it has to do with giving away money. You're, as a business owner, you're always thinking about profitability, making sure you can pay the bills, you can pay your team, all that. So anytime I come up with an idea that has to do with giving away money, it's uncomfortable. But these things help me stand out. So number one, we offer free returns for almost everything on our store whenever we can. So I mean, free 30-day free returns, no matter what. Like you just say you get it and it's day 1 or day 29 and you just decide you don't want it anymore. We'll pay for it, even though it costs us money, because we are doing this factory direct. So that means we got to ship it back to the manufacturer. Almost always that has a cost to it. We pay for it. The customer doesn't pay for it.
Maybe nobody a restocking fee from the manufacturer. You're just going to eat all of that for me. That's just price of doing business.
Precisely.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
No one else in the space does that. You go to their policy pages. It's like, oh, we're going to charge you this and that, and we're going to charge you all this stuff. Next thing you know, you're paying almost the cost of the product just to return the thing. So, like, what's the
Hmm.
point of having a return policy? So, it's sort of a risk reversal item, and I think that makes customers feel more comfortable with the purchase because they know the purchase is safe. They can feel secure. And then similarly, we don't offer a price match policy because everyone offers a price match policy. Why would someone come to us and ask for the same price when they could buy it from brand X next door? I don't know. So we offer a price beat policy. We say, okay, great, we'll match the price and we'll drop it another 1%. So you're going to get the best price available anywhere, no matter what. So again, that's a little uncomfortable because you're giving away profit to make that happen. Um, but you're trying to provide something that no other stores are offering in the space. And then the last thing I would say, I guess I said two things. There's really probably three things. We do offer amazing support. Like my team is really well trained in our products. They know how to speak the language. We understand the common customer pain points because we get the same questions over and over again. So when people call us, we answer the phone, we give them direct answers, we help solve their problems. We don't just have product pages on our website where you can buy stuff. We actually offer awesome support. And it doesn't matter if they bought something last week or last year or 2 years ago. If they want to call us and ask a question or need help with something, we're going to answer. We're going to give them the solution to their problem. We're just going to be there to support them no matter what.
That's amazing. I tell you what, I'm going to clip that, whatever it was, 3 minutes or so up, and it's going in the school community that we have, which is full of like business owners trying to grow these high ticket ecom businesses. Because what you've just said there, I can't stress how important it is. And I think sometimes that stuff gets branded as the unsexy stuff. Everyone, and of course it's all important, right? But everyone wants to do the thing with ads or SEO or, the latest AI innovative strategy. But sometimes, in fact, not just sometimes, often just having a deeper understanding of your customer, understanding what are their pain points, what are they worried about, what are they concerned about, and how can we go above and beyond to make sure we help them with that, support them with that is so important. And that's it reminds me of like you show those things that a lot of the business owners I speak to have had this success show, that it's that willingness to look long term enough to absolutely crush it. And it's like, yeah, sure, there are going to be times where you're going to have someone who just changes their mind and you have to eat a bunch of costs on a return. But how many sales did you make over others that you converted because you had this fantastic returns policy? I'd imagine if we'll never truly be able to put a number on this because we can't explicitly say you won that sale because you had this policy. But over time, I wouldn't be at all surprised to learn that you are so right side up on the relatively small amount of costs you've had to deal with where you have to do right by the customer on a return versus the amount of sales you've won because of it. So that's awesome. I still remember you told me once, because we used to be in a mastermind group together when I had my first business, and you told me that one of your best reviews in inverted commas was 1 star because of the way you guys had like dealt with it, and that was kind of explicitly said, and therefore some customers had even referenced, I think, that they kind of had the confidence to go with you because customers are not looking for all 5 stars across the board and nothing ever goes wrong, because that's just not realistic. But the way you guys dealt with it when something had gone wrong gave your customers a lot of confidence. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, 1 star ratings are a great opportunity. They truly are. You
What
can
a
just show the
mindset.
world and that customer what you can do. Um, in terms of reviews, by the way, we respond to 100% of our reviews, no matter what platform they're on. We respond. You'll see a response from us for every single one. Doesn't matter if it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thankfully, we actually have very, very few 1 stars, but like any business, they happen. And when you get them, again, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to learn because there probably is something you can learn there that to do better. It's an opportunity to do right by that customer, and it's an opportunity to show everyone else that you're willing to try to do right by the customer. So, it's easy to beat yourself up over those things. I've certainly done that before, but if you try to look at it as a way to grow and to be better and to help people, then okay, we'll do it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And as we've established, rapid growth trajectory. How much of that can you put down to, because you and I are both in the same boat, where we started these businesses kind of before AI was really a thing? Like, I know certainly, and I'm sure you'd be the same, like my first product descriptions, my first articles for SEO, they were all handwritten because we literally didn't have the tools. And, our businesses have sort of like grown alongside AI. How are you using it now in the present to grow your business, and what are some of the things you think are really helping you to kind of create leverage and move the dial more quickly?
Mhm. Yeah, great question. I am not a master wizard of AI. I'll just say that right off the bat. I know there's a lot of people doing some amazing things right now with AI, and maybe I'm not the most advanced on that, but we definitely use AI every day in the business in some way, shape, or form. To your point, the most common thing is to write product descriptions. Yeah, I did the same thing, Jayden. Like I wrote out everything myself early on, and we use AI for all of that now. Now we don't straight copy it. We have very specific prompts to write for very specific customer avatars, and we get it so it's pretty close. And then before we hit publish, go through and just kind of review it and change things here and there. But it does get us like 80% of the way there, which is very, very helpful. I actually, to the point about I made it earlier about customer support. I know a lot of people who are using AI like exclusively for things like chat, even email, to deal with customers, and I am sort of the opposite end of that. I feel like people want to talk to a human being. So at least during business hours, we always have somebody answer, a real human being answer our chat. So I don't want to go too far down the AI road from a human to human perspective, but I think AI can be best leveraged in sort of the back end administrative content type of things that we have to do as business owners. They're very time consuming. They're not always the best use of our time as a business owner. So if we can use AI to create content, if we can use AI to help improve business flows, business processes, that's kind of where I'm going with it right now. Again, not the most advanced person in the world with it, I'm free to admit, but we use it every single day. Sometimes it's like my business partner, I'll be honest with you. Like I need to bounce a question off somebody, and like I at that moment don't have anybody to talk to perhaps, and ChatGPT, tell me what I should do in this
I
role.
love it.
So yeah.
I love it. I think your way of thinking about it is spot on as well. In that, the way if we look at a market, right? Let's take your market. I would imagine there's probably 50% of your competitors. They're like really traditional businesses. They've been around for a long time, and they're probably barely using it at all. So straight away, you've created like efficiency, speed, leverage that you're going to be able to outstrip them. There's probably a load of them that still have copywriters writing their content, and they're not using anything to get 80% of the way there. So you're going to kind of smash them in terms of the velocity. But then if you went the other way and you just pumped out 100% AI, you're now going to fall into this horrible category where actually the quality of what you produce is pretty low. So then you start putting all the right prompts, the right guardrails, the right processes, and then you put human interaction on top. And it's not, okay, well, we don't have any human customer service or sales support because we do all AI. It's like, no, our sales support team are able to offer that amazing service because we gain these efficiencies because, maybe they don't place orders anymore, or maybe they don't have to send out tracking links or check where things are. It's like, how much of the work that we can't be exceptional at, can we just make it as efficient as possible so that the work we can be brilliant at, our team is like there ready to do it? And I think one of the things I'm so excited about with AI and then high ticket ecom and high ticket dropshipping is that you've got a really physical person to person business, like your relationships with your customers, your suppliers, etc. These are all like inherently physical things. Even the product are physical things you can touch. And then if you combine that, like that real business with the leverage of AI, I think that's where you have something quite special. So, okay, awesome. And I have to ask because I'm curious. Like, I obviously took an exit. You have done the right thing, and I'll be honest. A part of why I took an exit was because the opportunity of that sort of multiple at the time was very appealing, and I was a little bit burnt out at the time because of some fast growth. You've worked through that. You've got the team, but we kind of know you're probably looking at in the region of a 4x multiple for a fast growing high ticket dropship business. So, napkin numbers. I don't know your P&L, but you're probably sitting on a multi-million dollar asset here. Have you thought about an exit at all, or are you just plowing on?
Yeah, I do think about it sometimes. It is the ultimate goal, sure. I did get into this with the idea that if it was successful, I would have some kind of exit at some point. At the moment, though, I'm just on the ride, man, enjoying the journey. So I'm not in a rush to do it right away. I just want to keep growing this thing, see where it goes. I'm enjoying growing with my team. That's kind of fun too. I've got a great team, which makes a huge difference. That's, by the way, another nice thing about running your own business is you can select your team. You can select the people around whom you spend your time all day, which, if you got a job, obviously you can't do that. So you might like the people you work with, you might not. So I like my team. I like working with them. I like the challenge of what we're doing right now. Yeah, I have moments where I'm like, oh man, this is a lot of work. I'm tired. But those moments are fleeting relative to the great opportunity that I have in front of me. So we're just grinding away at it. I love it. I'm going to keep going with it. But yes, ultimately, I would like to have a big exit. So I have big numbers in mind, and
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
keep.
want 2 million or so. It's change. I mean, you don't. You you might as well go 8 figures or not at all, really.
That would
Although
be
I believe
awesome.
you can get there. I fully believe you can get there.
We'll see. We'll see.
I believe. Come on, the next stage of self belief's kicking in now. You've proved yourself
Right,
you
right.
can get into the millions. You need to prove yourself you can get into the tens of millions.
Mm, mm.
What's the coolest thing, or one of the coolest things? And by cool, I mean like you had that moment, which I think we all have, where you just think, "Wow, I'm so appreciative of what I built here." And like you say, you quickly adjust, and sometimes you forget where you've come from, and that Bill 3 years ago would have not even dared to dream of where you are. But like, has there been a moment where you just think, wow, like this is so cool what I built? For me, it was helping my wife get out of work. Like she had a high pressure job. She'd had like an insane 2 years. We were on holiday and she was just saying to me, like, I'm super miserable. I really don't want to go back. And I was like, okay, do you definitely want to go back? Or like, do you want to just go back and hand your resignation in? Like, you're awesome. I'm sure you could just help me out here. And like, you've done a lot. Have you had a moment like that where you're like, wow, I'm so appreciative of what I built?
Yeah, yeah. So where I live, I'm in the state of Arizona in the U.S. So where I live here, it's sort of in the desert, but there's also a lot of mountains around. And very close to where I live, there's a mountain range and a park, and you can go in there. It's usually uh, very quiet. There's usually not a lot of people around. And there was a time not long ago where I'm like, I just need to take a break today. I was tired, or I don't know what was going on, but I just needed to kind of check out of the business for a little bit. So I went over there, and there's a one of the hills you can hike up the trail. You can go up the trail, and someone put a bench up there, which is really kind of unusual in this area. Because try to imagine like this expanse, and there's like these mountains and hills, and then much larger mountains in the distance that are truly beautiful to look at. And it's sort of a random thing for someone to put this bench on this trail, but especially you have to climb up to get there. But then it says you read there's a little plaque on there, in loving memory of someone. I don't remember their name, but clearly I think it was like their parents who put it there, so someone who passed away, and this was like their memoriam to that person. And you could sit on this bench, and it's like perfectly situated to look at these mountains in the distance, and it's just beautiful. And there's no one around, and it's quiet, and there's birds flying by, and it's just this stunning area. And I bring this all up because I did this at like 2 in the afternoon one day. Like I'm like, I can do this. I could just come here anytime I want, and I could go up and sit here and observe this and enjoy it, and no one's stopping me. I don't have to ask permission. I'm just here. And I made that happen by building my business. So that was a real moment of gratitude for me, just the opportunity to be able to do something like that.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And just the final thing I want to ask you is if there was someone listening to this, maybe they've started their business, maybe they're thinking about doing it, maybe they're in one of those dips we're talking about where they're lacking a bit of belief. Is there anything particular you would kind of say to them? Any advice or anything you'd want them to sort of really think about?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things. First, make sure it's what you want to do. Whatever course you're on, like whatever journey, like ask yourself, truly, is this what I want to do? Because you really have to believe in it. If you believe in the path that you're on, if you make that decision that you do believe in it, keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop. You're going to have challenges. Again, as we said earlier, it doesn't matter what you choose to do in life. You're going to have challenges. But if you have the belief that you're on the right path, keep going down the path. Don't stop. If you got to take a break once in a while, fine, but just keep going. don't stop. And then the second thing would be, seek out people who can help you on that path. Someone like you, I think, is a great person out there who knows so much from the experience that you've had. You know, talk to Jayden. Jayden's a great resource and a smart guy and could probably help you out. Or really anybody, get a coach. Coaches are great for whatever it is that you need to get better at. I pay for quite a bit of coaching on things that you would think at this point I'm great at. And maybe I'm okay, but I could always improve. Olympic medalists have coaches. So you should have a coach for something too to get better at it. So I would say find that thing, believe in it, keep going, and then find the right people to help you along the way.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Bill. It's a pleasure to call you a friend. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to see what you do in the next 3 years, given what you've done so far. I promise we didn't set it up that way, but it's a kind of perfect segue. If you do want access to, a lot of the strategies that build a business similar to what Bill's done, I'm not promising you're going to do 5 million in 3 years. That's pretty crazy. But if you want access to those sorts of strategies, so you know what levers to pull and how to think about these things, we've got the 1% Ecom school. There'll be a comment dropped below. But Bill, thank you so much. Can't wait to watch what you do.
Thanks, Jen. This has been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.